Roman.
Uh-oh.
It's time for the Early Bird Special. Bringing you the best stories from the world of sports and sports entertainment. Now, here are your hosts, Sparky and Burdick.
And welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special Hour 2. My boy ran roughshod through the bloodline yesterday.
Yes, he did.
That boy speared Roman and Jay through the barricade and into oblivion.
Several spears, man.
Dude, I love what they're doing with this, and I love that they're teeing him up to be the new leader of this group. But Braun Breaker has been putting on a clinic, especially at his age. And for those of you who don't know, Braun Breaker is the son of Rick Steiner of the Steiner brothers, and has just taken the WWE by storm in the last 2 or 3 years since he's been in it. But we have to welcome our friend 24KG. He is in the building. We got to talk all things wrestling as SummerSlam is upon us this weekend, a 2-night event live from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Sir, how are you?
Yeah.
How are we feeling?
Y'all ready for SummerSlam?
I'm excited for it. I think the card is looking really, really nice right now. It's a plethora of championship matches when you really look at it. I'm pretty sure
Very
night 2 is nothing but championship matches, if I remember correctly. But how are you feeling after last night's Raw? We had a good build-up, at least, for the tag team match between Roman and Jay against the Brawns. And to end the entire show, I think we got another flat promo from Lyra Valkyria, if I'm being honest. Dude, she got the weeks wrong. How do you not know when the match is? Like, maybe this was a pre-recorded thing and she just messed up at the beginning. But for her to come out and say, in 2 weeks, I mean this weekend, I'm like, oh, great. This is going to go swimmingly.
I took it as maybe they're alluding to something 2 weeks after SummerSlam. Maybe she fumbled the lines. But overall, her character has gone through a complete overhaul
Becky
from
Stompers,
where she first started.
Really?
Becky Stompers, whoever's
Really?
writing this, they got to get somebody else for her, because it's almost to the point now where her character is being spoon-fed these little quick tropes to get over on the audience to make her more likable, and it's not organic.
You know what's funny,
One thing the fans of current-day WWE don't like is the inorganic push, and there's a lot of those, but they're done correctly. Hers is not being handled right. But on the other side, the person she has the best matches with happens to be Becky.
But see, that's what I was just about to get to, is all of these matches with Becky, are they not starting to feel like this is just, when you let your little sibling play the video game with you and they want to be the hero so bad, but you're the villain and you're like, haha, yeah, absolutely not going to happen.
Absolutely. It's the equivalent to here. Okay, mom said I have to let you play, so just hold the controller and act like you're playing.
Exactly. So it's like I'm starting to feel bad for her at a point. It's like, when are we going to separate her from Becky?
Hopefully after this weekend.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I remember Sparky said a few weeks ago, if they don't pull the trigger on this, it's going to end up one of those match situations where we're just tired of the character because we didn't get enough seasoning with her with other opponents. Unfortunately, these things tend to happen. Who'd have thunk it would happen during the Triple H era right now? But hey,
I personally think that they need to move her down and get into maybe the the mixes in maybe the whole of their show. Personally, but
move her back down to NXT for a little bit.
I feel like she was called up a little too soon from NXT.
I think so too. I think they called her up because they had a good story for her, but now with some of the other talent that have come up, your Roxanne Perez's, your Stephanie Vicares, your Julia's, she's very much overshadowed.
Very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly.
In that regard as well.
And it kind of ruined her character in a way, because now all we see is her taking on Becky every single week, and it's just a rehash every single time. Because even the Bayley situation with her promo, when they walk up to her with Katie Kelly and have the interview, she's like, "Oh, what's your future? What's going on with you?" It's like, we're still talking about WrestleMania with you? It's like,
if she wanted to keep it real, she'd just say, "Oh, I'm just waiting for Becky to steal another match."
Exactly. Like, throw some shade in there or something. Make it interesting. Yeah. That's why I'm like, if we're going to have a three-way storyline between these three, it needs to have a little more oomph to it for me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Well, speaking of storyline, we got into right off the bat after another 10 bell salute and homage to Hulk Hogan, which we don't even have to get into. We can see the reaction on some of these superstars' faces, how they felt about that.
Well, I mean, if you want to see our Hulk Hogan or thoughts, the video's up on our YouTube. We talked about it extensively last Friday.
Definitely, and I get it. He was a cornerstone of their company, but the show must go on. And as the show moved on, we've had AJ Styles and the Kabuki Warriors in some type of impromptu woman mixed tag match, which actually
had some bomb spots, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Finally got a little lead up to what we can expect with Dominic Mysterio, the IC champ, and AJ Styles, which actually woke the crowd up after that first 20. It took up the Hulk Hogan tribute took up about a good 20 minutes of the show initially, and then if you cut out commercial time and whatnot, which is a huge chunk. Even though they have 3 hours, that's a lot. So
but still, even with the promo afterwards, though, it kind of made it boring. Because, I mean, again, as much as I love... And that's me saying that because I love Paul Heyman, but we had a Paul Heyman and Jey Uso promo that was just...
nowhere.
I liked it.
I mean, again, it's nothing we haven't heard before,
I just don't... they need to keep the mic away from Uso. Personally,
hey, look, I'm gonna keep it real. When they were zooming in on the superstars on stage, I don't know what Jey Uso was saying to himself, but him and Randy Orton.
No, what Jay was doing was Jay was telling himself his lines for the promo right afwards, so he didn't mess it up.
Hey, possibly.
I was like, you need to stop taking that bump before he goes out there because he looked mixed up.
I'm just saying.
Very much so, because, we already got Lyra shuffling her lines all the way around. We don't need it. And Jey Uso's known for kind of missing and freestyling his lines on the fly. But in the result of that match, you have a prelude of what we're going to see with Dominic Mysterio, AJ Styles. Who do you see taking this match at SummerSlam?
Honestly, AJ. I think AJ takes the belt off of him, and we get Dom, because I genuinely believe... this AAA thing, and for those who have not been paying attention, there are a lot of WWE wrestlers in AAA right now dipping their toes into these title matches, including El Grande Americano.
As wrestlers and producers.
Yeah, well, now there's 4 of them, or 3 of them. We'll get to that in a second.
Yes, we got to get to that.
And Dragon Lee and a lot of these other guys.
I see you smiling, Spark.
Their version of WrestleMania is coming up in August. You can watch it on the YouTube channel. It's called Triple Mania.
I believe it's called Triple Mania.
And in that match, in that PLE, you will see a 4-way of 3 WWE wrestlers against their top wrestler Vikingo, for the main championship, which does include Dominic Mysterio. And
the ovation he got when he came out and attacked Vikingo. If
Dom is huge in Mexico, dude. Dom is massive. The name alone, the Mysterio name alone, makes him massive. But that's why I think he's going to lose the IC title. Because hear me out, I think he's going to win that AAA title at Triple Mania, because his dad Ray is essentially the pseudo GM of AAA right now, and you could make an entire story of Ray and Dom butting heads down there in AAA, especially after Dom, because I'm assuming at SummerSlam, especially after what we saw on Monday between Dom and Roxanne, I think Liv is coming back this weekend, and I think we're going to get the breakup, which means Dom is going to disappear for a while. I think he's going to be down there in AAA doing his thing as a luchador and actually showing his wrestling chops for a while.
I think the same thing.
I couldn't agree with you. I couldn't agree with you wholeheartedly, even more so on that aspect, but Sparky does have a point. I'd have to say that you can't forget, though, before I even jump to that, Conan is kind of like Dominic Mysterio's uncle, and
Godfather,
he's also a huge part in ownership and creative of AAA. So with Dominic going down there, maybe letting go of that IC strap, we see a run with him that leads into something perhaps with one of the El Grande Americanos. So as this match went on, we got to just stop right here. Just go on to this inception of El Grande Americano.
Is this getting to be too much? Now we have a third one.
I think Dom's going to be the fourth one.
I think
Dom's going to be the fourth one.
I think Dom's going to be a part of this and be the fourth one, and he's going to leave his hair out so everyone knows it's him.
Honestly, that would actually
Let's
be
just
pretty
leave
funny.
this out on the table like this for folks that don't know. We have technically, and I think honestly, this new Grande Americano is Pete Dunne. Looks like him.
Yeah, that's what the internet is saying.
So
right
we
now.
have a British guy pretending to be a German guy who's pretending to be an
a buff
American
American.
guy who's pretending to be a luchador.
From Mexico.
My head hurts already.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
Yeah,
is this
I
getting
just,
too
yeah.
far? Like, are we gonna
This
have
is
like a Council of Kangs version for El Grande Americano? Is that what we're headed towards?
I think this is the way we bring back Omas.
Oh God, no! That you know what?
Yeah.
The internet has ran with that too. That Omas is El Grande Americano.
I think we're gonna bring back Omas as one of the El Grandes, but
we might actually see a good portion of these wrestlers who haven't gotten a lot of TV time don these masks just to get them a little bit in there. You know what I mean?
Because one thing WWE has been good at over the years is trickling in certain comedic bits that really go over and just create memories. Since our truth isn't being comedic at the time right now, we've got to find something that alleviates some of the seriousness of the show. It almost reminds me of a Doink the Clown.
Exactly what it reminds me of.
You know how many
This could actually end up being this generation's Doink, to be honest.
They were multiplying like gremlins. You know what I mean? You couldn't even
Doink and dink and
full disclosure,
mink and stink and wink.
Yeah.
Breaking kayfabe and all that too. If you didn't see it, Chad Gable kind of made it or let it slip on Sunday at the Twins game that he had his first singles WrestleMania match this past year when he wasn't on the card. So he just released that he was El Grande.
I will agree with KG though. I think, and both of you really, I think it's the comic relief, and I think they're going to use it to utilize some of these guys that aren't getting a lot of action, and I think they're going to keep pushing it, and that's why I bring up, maybe Dom or somebody else that is just going to mix it up, and we'll end up getting a Survivor Series match with all four of them.
That's what I'm wondering. If we're gonna get war games of all El Grandes. The team of 5 El Grande Americanos against just 5 random wrestlers that they've been beating up on at the time. I'd like that. Now, where is this going is my main question.
Honestly, it can go as long as it's popular or until it fizzles out. With this kind of, I'd have to say, steamrolling effect of how people are just expecting a new El Grande every week. This could turn into something like how you say a council of Kangs, but
of all different El Grandes.
Like, here's an idea. Maybe we put Lyra in one of those.
Hey,
give her something to do.
We do need a female. We need a female El Grande. It is on the board.
Well, moving on from that, we've got Sheamus and Grayson Waller. And I don't know what Grayson Waller's doing right now. They kind of disbanded his tag team with Austin Theory off screen. They teased it for months. He's supposedly injured, whether that's real or storyline, we have yet to see, but apparently he's the lackey for the New Day at the time right now. So I don't know who he pissed off in the back, but yeah, that's what he is now. And he went out there and got the paws put on him by Sheamus, leading to Rusev once again stifling this man's shine. How do you guys feel about that?
Again, this is a great rivalry match that they'll keep going for a while, probably get its payoff at Clash at Paris. It's not going to be on the SummerSlam card. It's not big enough, but I can definitely see a Clash at Paris just grudge match to end it off, because these are 2 seasoned veterans that are both looking to really propel themselves back into at least the mid-card title area, and the best way to get the most out of it would be in Paris. Both being international superstars that they are, and to be honest, I think they'd get the biggest pop going against each other.
I like Rusev, but it's starting to get redundant, man. I would just say, as a fan, I'm just okay.
Well, I mean, same with the Sammy and Karrion Kross thing. I like, as much as I love this rivalry between the two of them, that's going to come to an end at SummerSlam too. And hopefully with a Karrion win and propulsion into a title shot, because I am tired of seeing him underutilized.
Definitely. Man, you took the words right out of my mouth right there, bro. It seems to me, with a couple months ago alluding to his contractual situation being up in August, and now we're approaching August, and deals have not been struck or
I believe they said they're going to I believe they said they're re-signing him and Scarlett.
They would be smart to.
I'm pretty
They
sure
would
that was
definitely
announced, if
be
not
smart
already
to.
done.
If not, well, AEW's got a fat money contract waiting for that guy right now because he is nothing but money on the table.
Dude. I don't know if he would go there.
I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not gonna say a check's a check, but when you build yourself up like how he has, the equity that he has right now, he is worth every bit of a new contract from WWE or something bigger from AEW.
But I feel like he has built himself in the indies, so he would pull a Cardona and go back to the indies.
That is possible.
I feel like he would get more recognition and more out of it of going to the indies than going to a place like AEW, where he's constantly going to be going against Moxley pretty much, and that's it.
This is also a question that only he could answer. Yeah. What does he feel he deserves? Does he want to go back to the indies, or is that just something he would have to do in order to provide? Honestly, I feel like the man deserves to be moved up the card.
100%.
Guys like that don't come along all the time. So what you can build off of him, and he might be WWE's next breakout actor. He is doing a bunch of independent movie roles, horror genre, split film type of stuff that looks really good out there. You guys need to go check out Karrion Kross, and he had a book come out recently that doing numbers right now. But before we even go into that, speaking of which, I just want to touch on this 8-woman tag team match that we had last night, which showed a lot of budding feuds or situations that might run through SummerSlam or even after and culminate at Clash in Paris. One that I'm really harping on right now, I really do see the whole Stephanie Vaquer and Naomi situation being a banger of a match.
Absolutely.
I think the potential's there athletically. They move very smoothly with almost anybody you put them in the ring with. And as long as we keep Booker T away from ringside, we're not going to have to worry about any serious situations that would get the network in trouble.
She went back to NXT for a second. I was like, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
I was like, we are not going to get this again.
And he just got, Booker T, and he just got, hey, look, Book, if you don't stop gooning on TV, Unc, please, hear me out, Book. I'm a fan. I appreciate your work. But,
it looks ugly,
for the brothers. For the brothers, bro. Just stop.
I've never liked a Book fan.
Just for the men with
creepy
respect
old
in
man
general,
kind
I
of
want to
thing,
see,
dude,
I want to see Booker T keep his job and not end up as that pervy old brother that's
what
like,
I'm
hey, shorty, hey. And he's starting to sound like that whenever she's
I know that's not who he is.
Like, I know, but it goes to a point of funny to where you're like, all right, man, family show.
You don't think it's kind of funny. You don't think he does it now though more because the fans get into it on the sideline, like when it actually happens, they're the ones doing it now. So
I like it. Yeah,
he's just pulling That's why he keeps doing that during the Trick Williams thing.
Yeah,
and he gets into it every time. It's because the fans like that.
That's him. It makes you a little bit uncomfortable, but you laugh about it at the same time. Now, with the action going on in the ring, I got to give it up to Piper Niven. She was really delivering some serious work and heat to Nikki Bella. Like, hey, I don't care if you're a Hall of Famer. I don't care who respects you. And I don't care what kind of, stroke you pull around here. Let me do this bottom rope leaping elbow onto your sternum and make the crowd go, ooh.
And it looked like maybe an early sprinkle of some Piper Rhea.
Little bit in the future.
Honestly, I can see them feud. But also, let's just rewind a little bit further. Nikki Bella took one hell of a super kick. And honestly, the way she went down, I said, yeah, that's what them 5, 6, 7 years off felt like catching up to you in that one move right there. We see it all the time with veteran wrestlers returning, getting their wheels back, and she definitely knocked off some of the rust. So shout out to her. And hey, going with that surgically repaired neck at the rate that she was going, I was watching certain spots and she handled it like a true professional. I hope she's all right. And furthermore, the match continued. And we had some previews to what we could see with a really good feud going on. Wait, before I even get into that, though, Chelsea Green. She's been catching some heat lately online for her remarks about the memorial of Hulk Hogan and whatnot. Still goes in there. It's a constant professional. Is not dealing with social media right now. Can you see her recapturing any women's mid-card titles before 2026, guys?
Oh, 100%. It's Chelsea Green. I mean, she's easily I would say the highest part of the mid-card right now without being a main title person. Because honestly, you guys talking about the whole Piper Niven, Rhea Ripley thing, I'm just seeing them setting up the tag team. Because it's going to be Mommy and Mamacita here really dang soon. It's because that's really how they're going to push this.
I could see the Chelsea with Becky.
Yeah, I mean, again,
because they're going to have to find something else for her to do after SummerSlam. But don't forget that we're going to get a draft here shortly after SummerSlam, so we might get some change-ups, some curveballs, and some show swapping.
I think that there's going to be a lot of the swapping. I think that you'll probably see the Secret Hervers move over to SmackDown again a little bit more, but because I could see her going up against a Julia more often than against Becky.
Than Zelina?
Because Zelina, as much as I like Zelina, it's just not working for some reason. The fans can't get behind her as much, and the Secret Hervis would be a great team to bring in, especially with Julia now having some representation and Kiana James. I would assume she's going to get a tag team to go along with that as well, and we're going to get a faction. Maybe the Kabuki Warriors. Just throwing that out there. Have a little anti-damage control kind of thing going. And I think it would just benefit everybody if you kind of make that kind of a move. But there's moves that need to be made, especially on the tag team side for Raw, because that has been absolutely floundering in most areas in the men's side. Definitely. Outside of the Judgment Day.
Now, speaking of tag teams and the Judgment Day, we move on to a Judgment Day Tag Team Championship match with the LWO, which was a banger.
Hell of a match.
Now, I mean, when I say JD McBeast, that's what I'm going to call him.
I love
JD
that dude,
McBeast. Man. The man is a beast, bro. He came back from a crushed rib, a punctured lung, spinal bruising. The guy's indestructible.
That kick that Finn took, oh my gosh.
Nasty.
But again, this is what I'm talking about. The LWO have been down there at AAA working with all these luchadors, and just this is the product that you're going to be getting coming back. And I think you're going to get a lot of the AAA guys coming up too here pretty soon.
Now, for a second, I almost thought the LWO was going to pull it out and take those tag team titles to AAA and just kind of run roughshod over everybody in AAA. Like, we're the WWE luchadors. This is the level you need to be to, because they can perform at that level. When I say pack this guy up, Finn Balor right here is sending everybody to the gulag. All right? What I'm telling you, man, that coup de grace stomp, he delivers that so sweet. And over the years, you kind of forget how it really looks and the impact and just the full shock of it all. Mm. You know, you got a grown man, a 200-pound man coming down on your abdominals, on your chest, stomping with his heels out. I mean, come on.
He's got one of the best drop kicks, too.
Straight up, you know, especially that like basement drop kick that really just pushes somebody in there. Now, with this whole build to the match, we spoke about it earlier with the third incarnation of El Grande Americano. This, with the problems with the LWO, where do you see more so, I'd have to say, Judgment Day going after this? Do they retain these tag team titles, or do they... Because I'm starting to get the sense that Finn is wanting to break out and more so do things on his own as a competitor. You're kind of seeing that. But as the de facto pseudo leader, you know, we're kind of just inching along that progress of what we can see Judgment Day doing. And you know how WWE likes to do foreshadow. Hey, yeah. Judgment Day's still here. These factions came and went. Judgment Day's still here. I kind of got the feeling that Judgment Day might disband once Liv returns and we see all hell break loose in the clubhouse.
I think that's what we're going to see is we're going to see whatever change up it is once Liv comes back.
No, I have to agree. And I think that, again, you already heard my prediction. I think that's this weekend. I think that they stretched the injury out a little bit and they said, oh, she's going to be gone for a while. It's like,
I can see Raquel and him staying together, though.
It's like, I don't think you name drop her like that yesterday if she's not in the cards somewhere.
Thank you very much.
And honestly, with the match that we're going to see at SummerSlam on Saturday, Roxanne and Raquel taking on Alexa and Charlotte, who more than likely will be taking those tag team titles off of Roxanne and Raquel. it would be the perfect opportunity. Maybe she comes in and saves them instead, and they get to keep the titles, and then you have this entire, triangle between Liv, Raquel, and Roxanne for a little bit. But it's going to be an interesting Saturday, because before we skip over it, because we've glanced over this entire thing, CM Punk and Gunther had the best promo of the night, which was CM Punk inevitably just shutting up Gunther for the first time ever. And
Definitely.
I finally saw some actual anger out of Gunther. That little blow up at the end after Punk put his hand on his mic and said, "Nah, shut up, kid. You don't get to talk here."
I'm not done yet.
Out, and Gunther was just angry. I think that was legitimate anger. I think legitimately that was a moment where Gunther was not expecting not to be able to fire back, and his character now looks weak, which means SummerSlam coming on Saturday, we may actually see CM Punk take that belt off of Gunther.
Well, we knew it was coming.
Well, if not, it's going to be one hell of a chop fest and a disappointment to all the CM Punk chanters. Now, let's get into the main event, folks. I got to shout out Netflix for not running the whole Jey Uso intro for 8 minutes straight this time.
Like they did in the beginning?
No, they got that done in the beginning of the show.
Yeah,
not remember how that went. We just talked about it a couple minutes ago. The Snoresville of a promo.
You got to get a yeet in, but I'm glad they didn't do it 3 times. They've been milking that yeet out there, pause, for a while. Now, that part, there we go. Bronson Reed is just a mountain of a man that moves like somebody that's 300-something pounds shouldn't move, and definitely did his thing last night. But I want to point something out, skipping through the match, okay? After Roman Reigns came out, Braun Breaker's spear that chopped Jey Uso in half, knocked the Sonic rings out of him, literally, was a sight to behold. But let me take you back, just briefly. Growing up, when things would happen, and you got into it with somebody, and if it was really serious, and you had an altercation, and somebody left with somebody else's shoes, that's some serious heat.
I'm glad you brought that up. Him stealing Roman's shoes at the end was wild.
This is some real street heat right here. This is some real street stuff. This is some real, hey, man.
I'm not going to lie, knowing that he's a New Zealander, I thought he was going to do a shoey. I thought he was going to grab someone's beer and do a shoey out of Roman's shoes. And I was like, dude, what is happening right now?
I thought he was going to throw him in the crowd. But see, the disrespect that he just, after Bronson cut that promo that Roman used to cut, this is mine, the cameraman, and this and that. And he said, yeah, we taking it all now. Matter of fact, and he looked at the camera and snatched his Jordans off of him and was like, these are mine now. That was real.
No, what's going to be great is Sunday or Saturday when they have their match and he walks into the ring and he's wearing them.
Yep.
If he got them around his neck.
No, he's going to be, I hope he's wearing them. I hope they're on his feet.
Back in the day, people would do that and then throw your shoes up on the telephone line and tell you to go get that. And it's like forever embarrassment. Roman Reigns has to crash out on these guys. He got to crash out, because if he don't, you just stole the Tribal Chief's Jordans, bro. If this don't relate to WWE's current fan base of the 13 to 33 generation of consumers, it's like, whoa, you took his shoes. That's important. I feel like that is key writing. That was dope. If it was on the spot, shout out to Bronson Reed. I'm looking forward to SummerSlam. We got a whole first night and second night stacked to the brim. Sami Zayn carrying Cross. We've got Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill. We got the Bronze versus Uso and Reigns.
I read this morning that this last night's main event was actually scheduled to be at SummerSlam ahead of Seth's injury.
That's possible. I could see that. But and don't forget about the 8-way tag match we're gonna get at SummerSlam as well. The TLC rematch.
Also, we don't have confirmation whether Drew McIntyre will make it back to America in time for this match. He's been having some problems with
shenanigans. It's a work. It's a work. If there's any match that's bled over into the real world, it's Randy and Jelly Roll against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Real quick, I don't mean to cut you off.
Though they do have alternative plans.
I get that. We got to cut you off though because we're running out of time. SummerSlam this weekend. Top match of the night. Go.
I am going for Gunther CM Punk with interference from Seth Rollins. I'm calling it right now.
I think that's going to be a great call. Personally, for me, it's going to be the TLC match. I think that TLC tag match against all 4 of the top SmackDown tag teams going after that title, including the Wyatt Six. I hope the Wyatt Six end up holding on to these for a long, long, long time. But I think that's going to be the match of the night. Or match of the weekend, really.
I'm going with the triple threat.
Ooh, Rhea,
with
Io,
and
nice.
Do you think Naomi actually loses the belt?
No.
I'm going to say no as well. I think we're setting up this Stephanie Vaquera-Naomi run, but I don't think Stephanie wins on her first chance.
Quick question. Where the hell has LA Knight been?
See, we had several texts that one of them was the same question.
And you got to give these guys some time to rest as well. I think the hype of LA Knight has run, and I don't think it's done. Don't get me wrong. The LA Knight will be coming back and will be a force here pretty soon. But you have to remember, he had this entire feud planned with Seth, and then Seth gets hurt. So now your story is put on hold. It's much like your tag partner being put out too. There's not much you can do about it. That's just kind of how the business rolls. So he's on break probably for the next couple weeks to months until they could find a storyline for him.
Chilling with the Viking Raiders, I'm pretty sure.
Honestly, I could see the 3 of them running a team together. I could definitely see that.
I couldn't. I'm just saying they're hanging out. Maybe at a bar somewhere in Florida.
Look, brother. Look, what if they decide to come in and run roughshod through the place? Who knows? I could definitely see Ivar, Eric, and LA Knight just destroy everybody. The stepdads of wrestling, brother. It's the stepdads of wrestling. That's what it is. All right, brother. We gotta get out of here and take a break. Thank you for your time as always. We'll talk to you later, and we'll possibly get you earlier before SummerSlam if we got some time at the end of the week.
Yes, indeed. This is the last Raw before SmackDown, so folks tune in. Before SummerSlam, so tune into that last SmackDown before Raw. Thank you for joining us right here on the Early Bird Special.
And don't forget as well, WWE the Unreal dropped today.
Oh, it's out now?
It is out today, so you can go and check that out on Netflix as well. KG, as always, thank you for your time, my friend. We will talk to you next week.
Peace.
Thank you, my friend. This is the Early Bird Special on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield.